102.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
I think the best way to make a first impression on a first date is to show her your rage issues right away. You know what I mean? Just rage on the first date the whole time. Usually ladies like that a lot.
Yeah.
Like anger to turn us on.
Yeah, they do. Oh, they love it. That's why Adam is on the phone right now. He emailed us about a date that he had that he feels didn't go so great because he was a little angry when he showed up to his date.
Oh, no.
Adam, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm good.
Hey man, first of all, I will say I read your email and the issue that you had in getting to your date and the way you acted on your date. I can't blame you. I think I would have acted the same way. I've been in this situation a lot. But go ahead and tell everybody about how you met the girl that you want us to call today.
So her name was Ren,
Ren?
and it was one of those like friend of a friend thing. We were both single. They set us up. Thought she was real good looking. I was really attracted to her. Looking through her pictures, it really seemed like she was going to be a good fit. So I was pretty stoked on the date from the beginning before we even actually met for the date.
Right,
And
before
had
you
she-
met and showed her your angry side.
Dude, I didn't mean to show her my angry face. That wasn't the goal of the date.
Yeah, but in your email you said you got there and you just raged for the whole time pretty much and you felt kind of awkward about it. Explain what happened.
I mean, I gave myself plenty of time to get to coffee. Last thing I want to do on a first date is show up late. And all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, this ass turns into the lane in front of me and starts going like 20 miles per hour. And I wasn't running late, but this guy, I felt like he was messing with me because I'm just sitting there. And I'm beeping and I'm honking and I'm trying to be nice first. And then I just lose it. I flip a switch and I start going crazy on this guy. And he's just such a ass because I'm just trying to get somewhere.
Adam, you are
Yeah, see,
still
you're
angry.
already
My
raging
God.
with us. We're just trying to ask
Because he
you.
was an ass guy.
Okay,
I
yeah,
know,
no, hey, dude, Adam, you're talking to the king of road rage right here.
Yeah.
I'm constantly pissed off in my
shaking
car,
right now.
so I understand.
You're still shaking.
So, you were angry about this dude.
Yeah, well, of course I was angry. Yeah, but, this guy who pulls in front of me makes me 10 minutes late, and that pissed me off. And I tried to let it go, and I guess it was just nervous energy. I just kind of wouldn't shut up, and I just talked nonstop pretty much the whole date,
Were you talking about this guy the whole time?
pretty much.
Do you have anger issues normally? Are you an angry guy?
I tend to think I'm pretty even-keeled guy, but
You sound,
Don't
you sound
sound
like
like
it. I asked you to recap the incident on the way to the date, and you just went off on us. So you sound like an
know,
angry
sorry.
dude. Are you an angry guy, or are you?
I'm not normally, really an angry guy. I think it was just the nervous energy of going to the date, and I think it's a mix of both of those things. I just kind of, had a tough time.
Did you explain to her that you were upset at a guy that
I
you?
did. I think it just came off angry.
Yeah, I can see how that happened.
Did she comment about your anger? Did she say, like, whoa, you're still pretty upset about this?
Not really. I mean, she was pretty quiet about it. She was really quiet.
Probably quiet because she was scared for her life. People get that way.
That's where I felt real bad with. I just kind of just talked nonstop for 45 minutes.
Did she get a word in edgewise?
I mean, not much.
All right,
Not really.
so you talked at her the whole time.
Well, I mean, at the end, I said to her, I asked her about going out on another date, and I apologized to her, and I said that, I'm not normally like this and all this stuff, and we slapped fives.
Oh, no.
You high fived at the end of the day.
Oh, Adam.
Well, I wasn't going to kiss her. I was, sweating from being so nervous and pissed off.
What kind of five are we talking about here? Like on the side, down low, high five,
Up high.
up high. All right, so you gave her a high five to say goodbye.
Go team.
Oh, she probably
And-
didn't want to do a fist pound because she thought you might break her
Yeah,
hand.
seriously. Did you ask to see her
Well, we did
again?
interlock fingers, though, guys.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's almost a handhold. You almost held her hand on the first date. Did you ask to see her again?
Well, yeah, we talked about it, and I mentioned I'd throw her a text, and I've texted her a few times, and I haven't really heard back. So I'm kind of curious. I know it didn't go great, but I thought it ended good.
After you apologized to her, did you say, oh, I totally understand, I've been there before, or?
Not so much.
And so she seemed upset.
Yeah, I mean, I told her. I said I told her that my energy level was off, and I was really nervous for the date as it was, and then this happened, and it just totally threw me, and I feel horrible about it. And I told her that, and she seemed receptive to it.
Yeah.
But this whole situation, it didn't go well, and I really want a second chance because I think her and I could really do well together, and I think that even with my anger issues, the little bit of road rage and stuff, I feel like a girl like her could really calm me down.
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
All right. Well, we'll play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, okay?
Great. Thank you, guys.
All right, try not to freak out. Hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
Adam is on the phone with us. He wants us to call a girl named Rin today for his second date update. They went out, met for coffee. He was 10 minutes late and ended up being very frustrated from a road rage incident that made him late. Feels like he just vented about the thing the whole time and was just angry and didn't even let her get a word in edgewise while they had their coffee date. Adam, you about ready to give her a call?
I'm ready, man.
All right, I was thinking about this. Most girls, when they list the traits that they like in a potential mate, they usually say something like, I like a guy who's sensitive, a guy who's caring, good job, very responsible. They usually don't list potential homicidal maniac
Yeah.
as a good quality. So that's probably why she's not calling you back. I mean, if you went on a first date with somebody and they showed up a little late, first of all, that's one strike against you, and then proceeded to just be angry the whole time, I doubt you'd be so willing to call him back, too.
I mean, I think that's kind of the issue, and that's why I'm trying to make it work with her again, because I really do feel like I had a bad representation.
You want a do-over.
Yeah, I just want to try one more time. You know, I want to kind of show Ren the Adam that I really am.
Okay.
Okay, and you think this call is going to do it for you? You've got a level head on you right now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty zen right now.
Just
Okay.
don't make him wait any longer for the phone call. Don't make him late for the second date
Yeah, can we
update.
just get this going so I don't get pissed off about it?
Okay. All right, I'm going to call it right now, man. Here we go.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak to Ren, please?
this is she.
Hey, Ren, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning, the radio program.
I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong number.
No, I'm pretty sure I have the right number, Ren. There's not a whole lot of Rens, and I was given your number by a guy named Adam to call you today.
What?
Yeah. Adam is a listener to our show, and he says he recently went out on a date with you, but you're not calling him back. And he asked us to see if we could get you on the phone and ask why.
How do you know him?
He listens to our radio show. Adam wanted us to call you to ask if he did something wrong on your date or there's a particular reason that you don't want to see him again.
I don't even really know how to respond to this.
I know
Did
it's
he talk to you about this?
he did. He told us that you went out for coffee and he said that he was a little late and he actually feels bad because he thinks that he may have been a little upset from a traffic incident and he wasn't very attentive to you on your date.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is that a pretty accurate description?
Yeah, I would say so. I get this is what you guys do, so I don't mean to be disrespectful at all. I'm just kind of like,
No,
oh my god.
it's fine. I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us. We just want to pass along a message to Adam and give him your perspective on the first date.
Yeah, I can talk about that. My experience with Adam was very limited, and I'm not a very confrontational person.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very, very angry, and I think that the first 10 minutes of the time that we very, very first were introduced to each other, it was really just all about this driving experience he had being so frustrated with this other person.
Was he like cussing and stuff when he was explaining it to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it was so over the top that I would have need to have left, because I would have done that if it was really, really that bad. If he was
That's what I was
out
going to
of
ask you,
control.
Ren. I was going to ask you if at any point you were scared for your life.
Oh, gosh.
No, I wouldn't say that. It really wasn't like that, but it was pretty intense. Even when he finally went to go get us some coffee, which he did, finally pull himself up to be like, okay, I'm going to go get us some coffee. But
Pulls himself together.
even in that moment when he goes to order the coffee, I can hear him from all the way at the other end of the shop, and he's ordering, and he just sounds aggressive.
So was he like yelling at the barista and stuff like that? I'm just trying to...
I said grande!
I'm picturing him just tearing up this Starbucks or wherever you're at.
No, it really wasn't like that. It wasn't like he was unkind toward the people around him necessarily. It's just the manner in which he was dealing with things. It was just like pent up. You know, when somebody's really upset about something, and even though they are doing something normal, it's in an abnormal way.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other thing that was tough. It was manifesting in like sweat.
Oh.
Like, so, he was so mad that he was sweating?
Well, I don't know if he just sweats, if that's a thing, independent of what was going on, but it seemed like it was fueled, or at least like made a lot worse by his emotional space.
Ren, it's called hyperhidrosis. It's just people who can't control their sweat glands. Okay, they sweat a ton. Maybe he has that.
How do you know this?
Yeah, don't ask.
I've known some people who have had hyperhidrosis.
Yeah, quote, known some people.
So you don't want to see him again because he's an angry, sweaty mess.
It's not just that he was sweating a lot and being angry. He was sweating profusely, like the palms of his hands. There was sweat dripping down him and then collecting, like under, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. Like, man boobs, you know?
Oh.
Is Adam taking steroids?
Oh, gosh.
He sweated out his whole shirt?
Like dark, just covered in sweat.
Oh, man.
It stains, boob stains?
Yeah, that's bad. If he's pitting out a little bit, that's kind of like, whoa, man, you sweat a lot. But if he actually, his whole shirt was sweated out?
I don't think that's being...
That's what I was concerned about, because I know that when I'm upset, like, I'll sweat a little bit, and that's normal, but it was, whoa, it was so much.
I'd be curious to find out if it's an issue or if it's just his anger that makes him sweat like that. Aren't you curious to at least know?
Honestly, maybe he's a really great person that just had a really bad day, but I just don't want to deal with it.
Okay.
I really don't.
That's cool. Thank you for giving us an answer. I appreciate it. But I really need to find out about this sweat, and that's why I'm glad you're still on the phone, because Adam is also on the phone and heard everything you just said.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Hi, Ren.
Oh, my God. First of all, I'm really, really sorry. Look, this is really, I'm sorry, and then I'm also, like, annoyed to be put in this situation. But I am sorry if you heard things that I said that are unflattering.
Oh, my God. You don't need to feel bad, Ren. Pretty much everything you said is true.
Oh, no.
I mean, I can kind of explain the sweating thing, the anger stuff. The sweating thing, let's start with that.
Point one.
So, I mean, I threw a hoodie and a coat on, and it ended up not being as cold out as I anticipated. By the time I was all pissed off at this guy in front of me, I started sweating in the car because I was blasting the heat, and I was so pissed off I wasn't thinking about it. The coffee shop had the heat on. I, couldn't stop sweating, and I knew I was, and I know that my man boobs were sweating.
Yeah, and that was a crappy thing for me to say about man boobs. That was rude. I'm sorry. That was just the first.
No,
it was
I
just
don't
the easiest.
care. That's what I think I want you to hear. It's like, I'm not that angry guy. I know I was sweaty. I know I was hot as and I thought if I didn't pay attention to it, you wouldn't mention it. Like, I was so lost in that date, and, I didn't know what to do, and I went home and showered right away. I was I was looking in the mirror, and I literally was mortified by myself because I was really excited about this date, and I never tell friends about going out with anybody, but for some reason I was kind of stoked on you, and I just crashed and burned, and I kind of do that a lot in life, and I just want you to know that I really am sorry. And as far as you and I are concerned, I'd love one more shot, just one more chance to maybe sweat it out with you and
sweat it out. Hey, Ren, would you like to go out with Adam again? I will pay for a second date. We can send you guys to a spin class or something where sweat is supposed to be there. And would you maybe give him another shot to see if he's not so flustered this time? He can do a better job.
Adam, I'm this is awkward, and I just want to say I appreciate you eventually being honest. I think that what I would have preferred is if you could have communicated this to me not on a radio station, because you did contact me and you didn't really ever just come out and say.
I totally get it, Ren. I mean, as crazy as I was there, it's probably crazier that I ended up on the radio with you right now. But I tried calling and texting you, and, you never got back to me. And so, I felt like this was my last option of how I could get a hold of you.
Ren, will you do it? Will you go out with him one more time?
Come on, Ren. We've never had anyone be so sincere.
Will you drive, please, just so we're...
And he's funny.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
One more day. Nice. All right. Ren, thank you for your time. Adam, congratulations. You got your second date, man.
Thank you, guys. Ren, this is going to be great. I promise you. I'll see you soon.
Adam, 2 words before your next date, all right? Gold bond. Okay?
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
The actual date that happened in today's second date update is probably one of the biggest train wrecks I've ever heard of.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Lucas, I read your email, and it sounds like you had an awesome time with the girl that you want us to call today.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't ideal.
Oh, no.
Explain to everybody what not ideal is. Was it the first part where the tears happened, or the rest of it where the funeral happened?
No, stop.
It
Stop.
wasn't. It wasn't a funeral. It was a cemetery.
Oh, my bad.
So,
That's not better.
Tell everybody about your date. First of all, how'd you meet this girl?
I met Avery. Her name's Avery. I met her through a friend of a friend,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
and I picked her up at her place. And she got in the car, and I could sort of tell. I mean, I don't really know her that well, but I could sort of tell that something wasn't right. So I asked her, are you okay? And she started crying right there. I mean, she was talking about she had something with her family, her parents, and she was really upset.
At
So,
that point, Lucas, why didn't you just go, you know what? Maybe we'll do this date another time, and I'll take you back home so you can deal with whatever you got going on.
I mean, I thought about it, but in that moment, I was just like, maybe she just needs someone to talk to.
Thank
All right.
goodness.
Or you
because
saw a moment
what?
of weakness and you were like, yeah, all right.
Get on
I know
shoulder,
how
baby
this is
girl.
going to end.
You guys, he's just trying to be a nice guy. You can't drop a crying girl off at her house just to let her cry by herself.
Yeah, she just seemed like she needed to get a lot of stuff off her chest,
So what was
Yeah.
wrong? Did you figure out what was going on?
I mean, just something with her parents. She had gotten a big argument with them about, she said, her life choices, I guess.
Whoa.
And eventually the conversation got into her childhood, and
Oh, gosh.
it got pretty deep.
Yeah, see, at that point, I think you should have maybe ended the date. But I can't even believe your next step.
Oh, no.
Lucas took her to a cemetery.
What?
Why? What?
Why would you take a crying
Well,
girl
look,
to...
okay, hold on. Because in my mind, I was thinking, we definitely can't go to a restaurant at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she was full-on ugly crying kind of.
Yeah.
Was the circumstance.
Good for you for sticking with it, though, Lucas. Lucas, it's impressive that you've even able to stick with it this
Yeah.
long. If that happened to me 5 seconds, I'd be out, dude.
God, you could at least take her to ice cream to cheer her up. How did you get to a cemetery, dude?
I was like, we gotta go somewhere. That it's not going to be ridiculous that she's crying so much. So we happened to drive by a cemetery, and I thought, in that split second, I was like, this is the perfect spot.
That is. Yes.
I suppose.
Look, it's quiet, it's private. There's not a lot of people. So yeah. In that moment, I thought it was the best choice.
What
Plus,
did
you can always use the perspective of, hey, things could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be dead.
Look at that guy, and that person over there.
What did you say to her?
I mean, I was like, look, this is just a quiet place where you can just do your venting, and and I'll just listen. And
Okay.
Uh-huh.
she was really being open about all this stuff about her family. And weirdly enough, I thought that there was a connection.
Is this your new thing now, Lucas? You're going to start taking people on cemetery dates? It worked out so well for you?
It'll be a thing, yeah.
All right. How did everything end with her?
I sort of, after all this stuff she'd been revealing, I felt kind of closer to her. And so I put my arm around her, and we walked to the car. And then, I thought it would be an okay moment to try to kiss her.
Oh.
After all that?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That is a bad choice on so many levels, Lucas.
That's coming from Jubal.
Yeah.
Look, looking back at it now, obviously it wasn't the best decision.
She just poured her heart out to you about some family issues she's having. She's been crying, and you're in the middle of a cemetery. Not the best time to make a move.
She had calmed down a little bit, and like I said, the things that she had been telling me, I feel like we had gotten close in a couple hours that she'd been telling me all this stuff.
I think I would have kissed him if I was the girl in that moment. I mean,
Really?
yeah, you feel super connected to someone like that.
I think
And
it's
you're-
called vulnerable.
Yeah.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, and you're vulnerable, and
Sad.
you have everything opened up to him.
She definitely wasn't having it. She
there
definitely
we
pulled back, and I did not. It was not a smart move on my part.
You said she wasn't into it. What did she say when you tried to kiss her?
She sort of stepped back and was like, you want to kiss me in a cemetery? She basically just wanted to go home at that point.
And you still want to call her for a second date update.
Ballsy.
Like I said, I felt by the end, even though she wasn't receptive to the kiss, that there was some sort of connection there.
Well, she obviously trusted you. She told you all that
Totally.
stuff about her like childhood and stuff.
Or she's crazy. Well, we'll play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, okay?
Great. Thanks,
I'm
guys.
excited about this one.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
After the first date that you had, Lucas, I still can't believe that you want to call this girl and do a second date update. You're sure you want to go through with this?
Yes, I'm definitely sure, yeah.
If you missed the first part of the second date update, Lucas took this girl Avery out he met through friends. Soon as they started driving to go to dinner on their date, she broke down in tears because of some stuff that was going on with her family. That wasn't enough to scare Lucas away, so he decided, you know what, we can't go to dinner. This is going to be awkward now. I'm going to stop at the best place possible, a cemetery,
Yeah.
and walk around the cemetery and let her spill her guts there. I know is the only option you had, Lucas. And then when Lucas tried to kiss her at the end of the night, she pushed him away. I was like, you want to kiss me in a cemetery? I don't think so. I never asked you, Lucas, how many times have you tried to get a hold of her?
It's been a week now. The text I sent, she just hasn't responded back to at all.
Just
Did-
nothing?
She hasn't
Yeah.
apologized profusely and said, "Oh my God, I came across as a crazy nut job. Let's do this again."
No, I haven't heard from her at all.
And honestly, you still find her super attractive.
I do, yes, I do.
Okay.
Sometimes crazy can be hot. I'm not going to lie.
Seriously, though.
All right.
All right, Lucas. Well, we're going to give her a call right now, see if we can get her on the phone, okay?
All right, great.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak to Avery, please?
this is Avery.
Hey, Avery, this is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning. I'm moving 92.5. How are you? You got a second?
From where?
Moving 92.5, Brooke and Jubal in the Morning. We do a morning show from 6 to 10 every weekday.
Okay. Why are you calling me?
Well, I'm calling you because you recently went out on a date with a friend of the show, and he thinks that you're avoiding him and don't want to go out on another date with him, so he asked us to call you and find out if he did something wrong on your date.
Oh, okay.
I guarantee you remember this little date that you went on. It should be pretty memorable.
I mean, not to be weird, but I've been on a couple dates recently. Can you tell me his name?
It would be the only date that you went on to a cemetery.
Oh my gosh.
It's Lucas.
Oh.
Did you not like Lucas?
So he told you about the cemetery. How much did he tell you about this date?
Oh.
He just, kind of told us there was a weird moment after he picked you up where you were having some personal stuff going on and got kind of upset, and then he decided to stop at the only place that he could find where he thought you two could talk quietly, which was a cemetery. He did say that he tried to kiss you at the end of the evening, and you shunned his advances because it was weird to try to make out with you in a cemetery. Yeah. Is that what did it?
I was going through a lot that day, as you know already, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though I was clearly, horrible and weird, he was really a little weird. I'm sorry, but...
Really?
He was the weird one in this whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, he said some stuff that I think he was trying to make me feel better, but it wasn't really working.
Can you give us an example of something that he said?
Well, I mean, did he tell you, what we did in the cemetery?
He just said that you guys walked around and talked, and he kind of let you vent whatever you were feeling.
There's more activities that you can do in a cemetery.
I guess. I had no idea.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, that was it. But while we were walking around, he would occasionally, stop in front of headstones and be like, "Oh, isn't it sweet, all these husbands and wives buried together?"
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's creepy.
That is super creepy.
I thought it was going to be he stole the flowers and gave them to you, but that's even worse.
Yeah.
That happened too.
Oh,
He did that?
oh no.
He pulled a flower off a grave and handed it to me and said, "Here, this will cheer you up." And I was like, "This is a dead person's flower." And he said, "They won't miss it."
I'm so confused on who to think is crazy.
I know.
This one. I just don't know.
At first I was like, Lucas, are you sure you want to call Avery? Now I'm like, these two are a perfect couple.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I know that he was trying, to lighten the mood, but we were in a cemetery. I was clearly having a meltdown. And his solution was to
pull flowers off graves and say things like, "We'll all be dead soon, even your parents."
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Up until that point, I was
definitely
like,
have a history with my parents.
Yeah.
But I don't wish them dead.
up
Yeah.
until that point, I was like, all right, well, it's kind of cool. He's trying to lighten the mood and maybe help you laugh and get through your stuff. But then going like, hey, don't worry about anything you're having at home with your parents. They'll be dead soon.
Oh, that's not
That usually doesn't
sensitive.
play well.
No.
Like I said, I totally will be the first to say that I was in a really bad space and probably should have canceled. But, ultimately I'm looking for a partner in life, and I don't think I want to be a partner with someone who's kind of weird.
And maybe someone who's not already hoping that your parents die.
Yeah, that could be a bonus.
I should actually tell you that Lucas is on the other line right now and just heard your recap of the date.
Oh God, no.
Hey, Avery.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
you poor thing.
Look, I had no idea how to react. I mean, you were obviously really upset. So I was just trying to do anything to take your mind off of it or lighten the moment. I don't actually want your parents to be
It
dead.
kind of took my mind off it, but not in the right direction.
I didn't. I was improvising. I've never been in a situation like this before. So I was just trying to find any way that I could possibly get your mind off of things. That's all that was.
I mean, you could kind of understand that, right, Avery?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that I was doing a good job on a date either. I was doing a very bad job for a date. But I feel like if this is your go-to response to say, "Oh, your parents will be dead soon," and you put flowers on graves, like that's bad.
Look,
That's a bad solution.
Okay, it was obviously a terrible, bad attempt at a joke. But the only reason I said it was just to try to get your mind off of things, change the subject. I wasn't, not thinking that clearly either.
It sounds to me like you two are perfect for each other. I'm not going to lie.
It's an off day
Yeah.
for both of you.
It just
Very
maybe it was one of those days you should have turned the car around and had the date on a different day.
Well, yeah, like I said, I should have called it off from the get-go. And I know that so many people encountering like a total meltdown would just run away, and I get that. And Lucas, I'm really grateful for you to just like sticking it out. And
See-
I mean, though you were kind of a idiot, I mean, I know it was a good intentioned idiot.
See, at least Lucas was trying, and he liked you enough to try to get a second date with you on a radio
Yeah, that's the other thing
show.
that's kind of weirding me out, I'll be honest. Like, I wouldn't want a second date with me after that. I was awful.
But Lucas still wants to go out with you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just thought, you're being really honest, and I think you're still pretty great. I know it wasn't ideal this first time around, but I like you.
Oh,
See, that should say a little something, Avery, don't you think?
that's
Because
really
honestly,
nice.
Avery, if I picked you up and you started bawling like that, I would have left you by the side of the road. So why don't you give Lucas another chance? We will pay for a second date. Will you go out with Lucas again?
Oh, come on.
I mean, I guess it can't be any worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Positive
Go
attitude.
uphill.
It's just like we tell everybody with the show, set your standards low and you'll like us if you just listen.
I mean, and if that's kind of our worst, and we still manage to be cordial, nice people, then maybe we could do better. I don't know. Just please, no creepy jokes, okay?
No more creepy jokes and no more cemeteries.
Awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations, Lucas. You got your second date.
Great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. And Avery, I hope that you have a great time, and I hope that everything that you were worried about on your last date is okay now and you're in a better place personally.
Great. Thank you, guys.
I mean, I say that, but I kind of hope you cry again just so we can
Oh,
have
come
Lucas call
on.
back in and do another second date.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
All I need's a little love in my life. All
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
I'll admit I've been drunk on a few dates in my time.
A few.
And it's always fun when you get really hammered and you like try to pick a fight with the waiter because you think he looked at you funny and they're kicking you out. You're like, I'm not that drunk. You can't kick me out of this place.
That sounds fun.
It's kind of what happened to Bethany, who's on the phone with us right now. She got hammered on her first date.
Bethany.
Isn't that right, Bethany?
No, I did not get drunk. That's the whole point.
Yeah, right. I was reading your email. It sounds like you got wasted.
Stop. I did not get drunk.
Yeah, right. But you sound drunk right now, Bethany. I'm not going to lie.
No, I'm just a happy person.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you a little bit about your date. First of all, who's the guy that you want us to call today?
His name is Robert.
Robert. Okay. And what did Robert think about you getting absolutely faced?
I did not get drunk, okay?
All right.
We went wine tasting, and I mean, yes, I did swallow a couple of sips of wine.
Thank you for finishing that sentence.
Right. Well, your email said that you think he might have thought you were drunk, and that's why he's not calling you back.
Yeah, because I got this, like, rampant case of the hiccups, and I could not get rid of them. I was trying to hold my breath, and I kept hiccuping, and I started laughing.
That sucks whenever you, even if you're drinking or not, just when you can't get rid of the hiccups. And that would be embarrassing on a first date.
Yeah. I mean, and we were in this, like, quiet room with a bunch of people, learning about these wines. And
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about the fact that you were wine tasting. So you got a bunch of snooty, I can taste, this one tastes very nutty. Meanwhile, you're in the corner hiccuping, throwing down glasses of wine, looking like the drunk in the room.
And I, like I said, I was giggling because, like, once you like, have that giggle bug and you cannot shake it, and then you're hiccuping on top of it, I was just, like, a crazy person.
Was he laughing with you, though? Because, I mean, it sounds like a funny situation.
At first, he was like, oh, my God, I can't believe, you have the hiccups, and, like, it was kind of a silly thing, but they would not go away. And I think that by the end of it, he thought that I was, like, really drunk. I mean, if you had seen, like, these sips of wine, like, there's no way, even if I had drank all of them, that I would have been that wasted.
Up until the point when your hiccups started, how was everything going?
Great. I mean, he was just such a gentleman and very sweet. He's, like, exactly my type.
All right, what else happened on the date?
The crazy thing is, the whole time I had these hiccups, and then we were asked to leave.
What?
No way.
Yeah, like, the instructor was like, I'm sorry, because, you can't, like, be obnoxious and drunk, but I wasn't.
Are you lying to us about the drunk part? Are you sure you weren't wasted?
No, I wasn't wasted. No, not at all.
So they kicked you out of the wine tasting thinking that you were hammered.
When he actually said, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, it was the most humiliating thing. I mean, there have been times in my life where, like, I have been tipsy and I have been a little wild. I have never gotten asked to leave.
That's the worst part. When you get kicked out of somewhere and you're not drunk. I've been kicked out of a place because they're like, hey, you were grabbing girls on the butt. And I was like, no, I actually wasn't. For once in my life, I wasn't doing that.
I was
like, if you want to send me back in there, I will grab somebody on the butt so you can kick me out. It's worse when you haven't actually done something wrong and they kick you out.
Yeah, and I was trying to reason with the guy almost like, don't you see how this is, like, the most ridiculous situation? But he was just, like, very serious. Like, I take cheese and wine very seriously.
So they kicked you out of the wine tasting thinking that you were hammered. And what did he do after that?
It was kind of awkward because once we left, like, I didn't have hiccups anymore. So it was like, well, we could have gone back in, but then we couldn't because they kicked us out. So he was just, like, thoroughly annoyed. And I could tell. But I was just kind of, like, trying to blow it off, like, oh, man, like, what are the chances?
And how did everything end with him after your date was done? Did he say that he wanted to go out again?
No, I kind of gave it this, like, oh, man, how about we, like, give it another shot, like, just trying to blow it off. But he couldn't get out of there faster.
So when we get him on the phone for your second date update, do you think that he's going to be open to going on another date with you?
I think if I can actually get through to him the honest truth that I was not drunk.
Okay.
I mean, I'm serious when I say, like, I get the hiccups. Like, if I eat spicy food, I'll get the hiccups. But it's not like, usually they'll go away.
So you need our help in pointing out to him that she actually wasn't drunk.
Right. Yes, please.
Have you tried to explain to him since your date?
I sent him a couple texts that I didn't want to look like a crazy person.
And did he respond to anything?
No, he didn't.
You haven't heard a word from him?
No, I haven't since that night, since our parting hug.
All right. So he's obviously didn't like something about your date.
No, he didn't.
Okay. Well, play a song, come back, get him on the phone, and get your second date update, all right?
Okay, great.
All right, hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
The goal of today's second date update is to call a guy and convince him that his date wasn't absolutely hammered during their first date. Bethany, you about ready to give him a call?
Yes, I am.
All right, here's my advice to you. Before we make the phone call, get hammered right now.
Yeah.
Get as drunk as you possibly can. That way, when we get him on the phone, I can be like, see, this is how she sounds drunk. She wasn't drunk on your first date.
Well, don't you think that would decrease my credibility significantly?
It could, but it'd be fun for me.
That's all that matters.
If you're just tuning in, Bethany wants us to call this guy named Robert. They met online. They went to a wine and cheese tasting. She got a fit of hiccups like halfway into the thing. And they ended up getting kicked out because the guy who was running it thought she might be drunk. And now she thinks that Robert isn't calling her back because she got hammered on their first date. So our goal is to call, get him on the phone, and convince him that you aren't a drunk mess. Are you ready to go, Bethany?
I am ready.
All right.
It's kind of ironic how a drunk mess is calling to convince somebody else. That
I know.
Yeah.
You
Takes
called the
one
right
to
place.
know one.
If there's anybody that have had to do a lot of damage control after being drunk, it is me. So you called the right place, Bethany. All right, I'm going to dial the phone number right now, see if we can get him on the phone, and hopefully get you a second date.
Great.
Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Robert, please?
Yeah, this is Robert.
Hey, Robert, how you doing? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
Sorry, from where?
Brooke and Jubal in the Morning? The radio show? You are obviously a big-time listener, I can tell.
He's a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not at all, are you, Robert? Robert, we do a radio show in the morning from 6 to 10 every morning, Moving 92.5, and we recently got an email about you from one of our listeners.
All right.
Her name is Bethany. She told us about your date and also told us that you haven't been returning any of her phone calls after your date. So we said, hey, why not let us call Robert, see if we can get him on the phone and find out if you did something wrong.
Okay. That's weird.
I know it's kind of weird. Bethany did tell us that she thinks you might have thought that she was hammered. She told us about the hiccups, said that she got like a fit of laughter because of the hiccups, and then told us that you guys got kicked out of the wine tasting class because they thought she was drunk. Is that why you're not calling her back?
I mean, she was definitely tipsy. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of that was good, but, you know, in between the jugs of wine she was drinking, she leaned over to me and said, the instructor reminds me of my ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
no.
All right.
That's
Talking
never
about
cool,
your ex
dude.
during a first date. Talking about your ex during any date kind of sucks.
Yeah.
That's understandable,
It kind
Robert.
of sucked, but the weird part was the instructor was like 65 years old.
Really?
That is kind of a funny thing.
I know, yeah, you're like, what, you dating a 65-year-old? How does that guy remind her of her ex?
I didn't know if I should even ask, you know, or even get into it, but this guy was wearing bifocals, he had a receding hairline.
You're like, so...
I said, what makes this guy remind you of your ex-boyfriend? And, I mean, this guy had a receding hairline, a pot belly, he wore bifocals, and...
Did you think she had like beer goggles on and she's like, that guy is hot?
That Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even know if I should even get into it any further, but she said my ex-boyfriend was 65.
She dated a 65-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She left that out of her story, Robert.
Yeah.
How old is Bethany? Because Bethany sounds like she's a lot younger than 65.
I think she's 28 or something.
Jeez.
But the same vein, I mean, you got to, like, how are you judging somebody based on their ex? I get, like, bringing him up, but how does that affect you?
Well, it made me wonder, why is she on a date with me when she's had relationships with guys twice my age?
Yeah. Robert, why don't we ask her that? Because she's actually on the line listening.
Oh my God, you really, like, that was why you didn't call me back, was because you thought my ex-boyfriend was too old for me? I mean,
that was
ridiculous.
the turning point for me.
But it has nothing to do with you. I mean, I was there with you. Obviously, like, I'm not dating that person anymore, and we were having a good time before we got kicked out of the thing.
You're 28. I just didn't understand why you would even date someone twice your age. Just really weirded me out.
Well, it just happened. It wasn't like I set out to start dating older men. He was like a friend of the family, kind of.
That's worse.
So, like, Harrison Ford is, like, handsome, no matter how old he is. I didn't ask you about any of your exes because it didn't matter to me.
Yeah, and Robert, don't you have some crazy, stupid people that you've dated in your past that I'm sure if she found out about, she could judge you for?
I suppose, but they certainly were in my age range. So.
Yeah, none of them were about to collect Social Security.
I mean, also, Bethany, you got to think you offered up that information. He wasn't necessarily asking.
Well, I guess I did. But it was just like a funny thing. Like, I was already laughing. I was already like...
Totally.
It was kind of like the instructor was like getting mad at us and like looking like over his glasses at me. And I was like, kind of like that, ooh, he reminds me of my ex.
Oh, my God.
See, that's gross. I don't want to be thinking about 65-year-old dudes with walking canes and bifocals.
It wasn't like that. Like I said, he was just older, and I liked him, and I liked you. And so what's the problem?
Older is, maybe 40. I mean, I can understand that. But this guy was getting near retirement age. I mean, this guy is probably playing bingo on Wednesday nights or something. I don't know.
Oh, my God. I can't even. You have no idea. Age is just a number. It's just I like you. So it doesn't even matter.
Look, okay, I'm sorry. I can't help how I feel. I can't go out with a girl and, every time I look at her, I'm thinking of some old guy, some crotchety old guy.
Well, that's your thing. If you're into old men, that's fine, but I choose the person. And besides, only old people go to wine and cheese things anyway, FYI. And have a good time. And, you're being rude and judging, so you did me a favor.
All right, fine by me. Good luck with your early bird specials.
I'm guessing that you guys don't want to go out on a second date based on that little conversation right there, but I still have to ask. Robert, would you like to go out with Bethany on a second date? I will pay for it.
No.
Okay. Bethany, would you still like to go out with Robert?
No, I'm going to find someone less judgy and a little more in my maturity range.
Yeah. Start right now. Here, the Elks Lodge has a bunch of dudes.
Oh, yeah.
that you could hang out with.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Need LASIK? Trust the experienced team at the LASIK Center at Evergreen Eye Center. No glasses, no contacts, no limits. What will you do? LASIK at evergreen.com.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
A guy named Kipling is on the phone today for a second date update.
Ew, he sounds very high class.
Yes, he does. Kipling. Apparently, he's not very good at dating, doesn't date a whole lot, and he's afraid that his nerves might have got the best of him on his first date. Kip, how you doing?
Good.
Can I call you Kip?
Yes, actually, Kip is. Most people call me Kip.
Okay. I don't know why. I just don't want to call you Kipling the whole time.
I know, it just sounds
I don't know
weird.
why, but it sounds weird.
The tongue weird.
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, it's a weird name.
Okay. So, Kip, now I want to call you Kipling every time. This is.
I mean, you can if you want to.
All right.
And
Well,
Kip,
anyway.
remember, you're getting made fun of by a guy named Jubal,
Yeah,
so
right.
you're fine, dude.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, Kipling, whatever. Just tell us about your first date a little bit. What's the problem?
Okay. Well, I don't generally date a lot, like for the most part.
Okay.
I just don't go on a lot of dates. I don't do the whole online dating thing, just because it's weird and hard. But anyways, this friend of mine at work, she sort of showed me this. Her friend Mona. She was showing me pictures of her, and
It sounds to me like you're trying to say your friend from work hooked you up with a date.
Yeah. Am I not explaining that right?
Well, I mean, you did. It just sounds like you're a little nervous, maybe, and kind of all over the place.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine, man. You're doing a really good job.
You're here with friends. Kip will help you out.
So your friend set you up with a lady.
Right. My friend set me up with this girl, and we talked on the phone, and we decided to go to a restaurant. And I picked a really nice restaurant because I wanted to impress her. I mean, she looked really cute. I hadn't been on a date in a while, and I wanted to impress
Take her somewhere where they have silverware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's a good move.
Classy.
Yeah.
A woman will always love you if you feed her well.
Well, I guess, yeah, right? But I got there late. I misjudged the traffic, and I got there like 15, maybe 20 minutes late.
Oh, wow. That is a lot late. Like 5 minutes is okay, but if you're 15 minutes late.
Yeah, it's a long time to wait.
Did you text her and say, hey, run in a little bit behind?
No, I didn't want to text while I was driving. No one should do that.
That's a good point.
Back to your date, Kip. How did she react when you were that late? Did she seem upset by that?
She seemed fine with it. She was really nice about it, but I was already so nervous because I was late. And then this thing happened. Well, I guess I was surprised by the size of her. She had a really big chest area.
Oh, Kip.
Okay.
Wait.
That'll happen. That'll happen sometimes.
She had boobs, is what you're saying. Big ones.
Brooke.
Yeah, and I wasn't bothered by it, obviously, but I just sometimes I would catch myself, not talking or looking at her face, and I was just really nervous, and so at one point I feel like I overcompensated, and then I just stared too much at her face.
It's kind of like when somebody has a weird growth on their face or something, and you're like, I can't look at it, and then you keep catching yourself looking at it.
Yeah, but if that was on her chest.
Okay.
Did she?
She had two, I guess. Apparently.
Giant growths.
Yeah.
Did you actually address the problem, or did you guys not talk about? I'm serious. Like
no. That she had big boobs. No.
Well, I mean, I have not a huge chest, but I have a larger top half, and when somebody's staring, sometimes I'll just ask, hey, up here.
Well, if you're asking me if I went online and looked at pictures of you, I haven't.
What?
No, I don't think she's saying that at all. I think she's saying, did it ever get brought up that you were having trouble paying attention to the conversation because of your date's boobs?
Oh. No, I thought that Brooke was asking me if I'd ever seen her chest, because it's larger.
No, no, she wasn't. But, hey, you can always go to the website after the second date update is done and look if you want.
No.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh, Kip.
All right. So did she make any reference to you staring at her chest or not staring at her chest?
No, not that I remember. I didn't. I mean, no.
Okay. So it was just something that you were self-conscious about on the date.
Yeah, and then I was self-conscious that I was self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
So the whole time, that's all you were thinking about is don't look too long at her boobs. Oh, crap, I looked at her boobs.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about looking at her boobs, and it was just...
You're just downhill for you. Did you hear a word that she said on the date?
I mean, I know at one point she was talking about swimming, but I have no idea what that was about or anything.
How long did you spend at dinner staring at her breasts?
Well, so that was the thing. I thought that, I don't know, in my mind I thought dinner and drinks would last like 3 hours, and then we were done by like 45 minutes. So I started to panic, and I was, suggesting a bunch of activities like, you want to go bowling? Or, I don't know, I just was suggesting these activities, and she kind of wasn't really into it. She said she had to go and meet a friend, and so, I walked her to her car, and I didn't get a chance to like try to kiss her or anything because she was getting in her car, and then I asked her if I could call her, but she was closing the door. I don't know if she heard me or not.
So do you walk her to her car and she didn't really say much to you and close the door in your face? Because that's what it sounds like.
Well, it wasn't that bad. I was just a little nervous, and so by the time I, worked up the courage to just ask if I could call her, she was closing the door.
Okay. I picture her driving out of the parking lot. Like, can I call you? No? Okay.
And then she squealed off.
Kind of.
Kip, you sound like a really nice guy talking to you, but your description of the date sounds like you acted like an awkward perv.
Yes.
No, I wasn't being pervy. It's just that was what was on my mind about her. And I don't date a lot, and I thought that this girl was really nice, and we kind of had a nice time. I just was hoping you guys could help me figure out like what went wrong.
Okay, we can definitely do that. What we'll do is we'll play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, okay?
Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay, hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
I can honestly say, out of all the second date updates we've ever done, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of second date updates, I've never wanted anybody to get a second date more than my man Kipling, who's on the phone right now to do a second date update.
It's the story of an underdog.
You might know him as the Kipmeister, the Kippinator, Mr. Kipplesworth. Kipling is on the phone right now. He's a great dude, but he got a little nervous on his first date because he was ambushed by a woman with big bazooms.
I don't think
And
she
that will
ambushed
happen
him.
from time to time. Kip was not ready for it. If you were listening to the first part of the second date update, Kip explained that he has not dated very much. He went out with a girl that he met through a coworker, and when he met her at the restaurant, which he was 15 minutes late to, by the way, she actually had a very large chest, and Kip was nervous the whole time and couldn't pay attention, and he barely heard a word she said. She ended the date by just hopping in the car and leaving, and he hasn't spoken to her since. Kipling, are you ready?
Yeah, I hope you can work your magic or do your thing, you know?
Well, we'll see if we can do our thing here. I'm going to dial the phone over right now, okay?
Okay.
Hello?
I was looking for Mona.
Yeah, this is her.
Hello, Mona. My name is Jubal, and I host a radio show called Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
Okay.
Cool. Have you ever heard the show before at all?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard of you. I just don't listen
That's okay.
that often.
Okay, cool. Well, you may have never listened really before, but you're actually on the show right now.
What do you mean?
I mean that one of our listeners actually sent us an email about you.
About me?
Yep.
Really?
Yep, and they said all nice things, too.
That's great. What's it about?
It's about a date that you went on recently.
Really?
Yeah, you went on a date with a guy named Kipling.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, you mean Kip?
I do. Yes, I do. And he actually emailed us because he wanted us to get a hold of you. I guess you're not calling him back since your date, and he's confused.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you don't want to go out with him again?
I mean, he seemed like a really sweet guy, but I could just tell he was really, really nervous, like anxiously nervous, like kind of extremely awkward.
On a scale of 1 to 10 and the most awkward dates you've ever been on, how was this date?
A 15.
I'll tell you why I ask it like that, because we actually talked to Kipling. Sounds like a nice guy, but he was also very nervous talking to us, so I can't imagine how he would be on a date.
Yeah, like everything you can imagine, like times 1,000.
Did it get better as you guys hung out longer?
No, it only got worse.
How did it get worse?
Like, he showed up almost 20 minutes late
Right.
without letting me know.
When he walked in, though, despite being 20 minutes late, were you kind of excited? Like, oh, he's cute.
I mean, he was like nerdy, awkward, cute. I was like, maybe this could end well. But I'd been waiting for him to order, and the waitress came, and he gave her our menus and said we wouldn't be ordering food. We were just going to get drinks. But I'd waited all day to eat.
What?
It was already like after 7, and I hadn't eaten, and all we were getting was drinks. Like, we went to this nice restaurant, and we weren't even going to get food. Like, why didn't we just go to the bar?
Oh, I would have been like, hell no, I'm getting food. You don't even want to see me when I'm hungry right now.
We were like a few drinks in, and I started getting a little tipsy, and I finally was like, hey, man, like, I'm really hungry. Like, is it okay if we order something? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll get an appetizer for us to split.
Oh, wow.
So then he decides to get calamari, which is fine. It was great. Yeah. And I was eating, and he could tell that I was uncomfortable. So then he says, can I ask you a question? And, of course, I said, sure. And he asked me if I'm having a good time because my face
doesn't look like I'm having a good time.
Your face doesn't look like you're having fun. What'd you say to that?
I just smiled and put more calamari in my mouth.
Come on, you were though probably showing some pain on your face at this point.
I think at that point, a few drinks in, no food in my stomach, I couldn't hide a thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So it was just a very awkward time for you.
It was extremely awkward.
All right. You know what else is going to be awkward?
What?
He's actually on the other line listening and wants to talk to you right now.
Wait, what?
Yep. Kip, where you at?
Hi, Mona.
Oh, no. Hi, Kip.
Hi.
Oh, Kip.
Kip, why are you doing this? I'm confused.
Well, you weren't answering my messages. I thought I wanted to talk to you and see if you wanted to go on another date.
Oh, Kip.
Kip, did you hear what I said about our first date?
Yeah, and but listen, the thing is, okay, so I don't date a lot, and I really liked you, and you made me nervous, and I was already really nervous because I was late, and the thing is, I just showed up, and I just wasn't expecting a woman of your nature to be there.
Kip, what does that even mean?
What does that mean, Kip?
No, I just mean you're very beautiful. You know, you're very You have captivating features.
Oh.
You know.
Kip, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I just got nervous, and that's why maybe I wasn't the best dater. I was nervous, and I could tell you weren't having a good time, and the reason I didn't order a bunch of food is because I don't know, maybe we were gonna, something was gonna happen.
What?
Oh, Kip.
Wait, what are you talking about, Kip? What was going to happen if you ordered food?
I don't know. Maybe you just, if you don't know what happens if the date goes well, and
Oh, gosh.
I just didn't want to have anyone to feel awkward about having bad breath or have stuff in their teeth or anything.
You mean like if you guys are going to kiss or something at the end there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was planning a lot more than that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
me
Kip.
too, but I'm not really giving Kip that much credit.
I was like, damn, son, slow down.
No. I just meant kissing. Like, we might kiss if it went well. It's a date. It's how would,
Okay.
Kip, I get being nervous, like going on dates and stuff, but you probably don't want to ask if they're having a good time because their face doesn't look happy. Kind of a turnoff.
I didn't mean like that. I mean, your face is beautiful. Your whole is beautiful. You're beautiful, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like I could tell like you weren't having a good time and I wanted you to have a good time,
Yeah, Kip, but maybe you could have phrased it a little differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I was nervous, and I don't date a lot, okay? But, listen, I'm a really nice guy, and, I just feel like I could do it right, We could go somewhere and get food, and I don't know.
Mona, think about it. He's laying it all out there. Maybe next time, because it's all out in the open, he won't have those same type of nerves.
I mean, he's really sweet. And everything he does seems pretty genuine.
Well, how about this, Mona? Would you go out with Kip on a second date? I will pay for it.
Oh.
Free second date.
Time?
What's that?
Said we would get food this time.
You can get food. I promise.
Yes, we could do whatever. We could go bowling or get food or whatever.
He's the same way.
Kip, you really like bowling, don't you?
I just don't date a lot, and that's just the last date I went on. We went bowling, and we had a great time.
Oh.
You guys don't have to go bowling if you don't want to, Mona. You can do anything. We will pay for it, though. Will you go out with Kipling again?
Come on.
You know what? I guess he does deserve a second chance.
Whoa!
That almost sounded not painful.
What does that mean?
You're saying yes?
Yes, I'll go out with Kip again.
Yay!
Yeah, really? You won't regret it, I promise.
Congratulations, Kipling. You got a second date, man.
I can't believe you guys did this. This is amazing.
Kip, I can't believe we did it either, honestly.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Damn, I ain't be going.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
And I haven't done a lot of online dating, or any really, because, let's face it, I don't need to.
No, it's because you don't want to take people on actual dates.
It's their second date update. I bring up the thing about online dating because Lydia's done it before. How do you decipher who you want to go out with and who you don't want to go out with, just based on reading their profile?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not an expert on it. I've not had successful dates lately.
You had a boyfriend out of it.
That's true. I guess that counts. But he was basically the first person that talked to me, and I was like, yep, all right, I'm in.
And he was kind of a turd. So anyway, our second dater today is named Dylan. Dylan emailed us about a girl that he met online named Natalie. What's up, Dylan?
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So what did you like about Natalie's profile?
Oh, just about everything, really.
Oh.
First off, like her pictures.
Well, yeah.
She was very gorgeous. She's, yeah. Oof.
Okay. That's the obvious one.
What else did you like?
She said she liked good listeners,
Right.
and I love to listen. I think I'm a really good communicator, so that was good.
All right.
Oh my gosh, you are adorable.
Your email says that you went on a very interesting date, but you didn't go into any more detail than that. Would you mind explaining what you mean by you went on an interesting date?
Oh, sure. Okay, so in her profile, she said that she likes surprises. So I thought I would surprise her with flowers.
Okay, that's
'cause
good.
that's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, I heard chicks dig those.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Jubal. It's
All right.
amazing.
And then we went out to do some wine tasting,
Ooh.
and that went well. And then afterwards, we went out to look at some homes, some houses.
What?
Houses?
What?
Are you?
What? Slow down.
You're kidding, right?
Did things move that well
Yeah.
on the first date?
This thing is going awesomely. Let's buy a house.
I have a good credit score. I could probably get us approved right
Were you,
now.
are you like in the market for a house or something? How'd that come about?
Well, looking at houses and stuff like that, there's like always like a party or like they have hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that. And I thought it would be nice to go check out all these really expensive homes.
That's kind of genius.
Plus, I brought a camera and I had all the realtors there take pictures of us throughout these different houses
Oh, no.
because it would be cute to have pictures of us at all these different places.
So you went to crash these parties or these open houses and had them take pictures of you guys like you were a couple looking to buy a house?
Yeah.
No wonder she's not calling you back. Dude, that is weird.
Slow down. That could be funny and fun if she was into it. There is someone for everyone, and this girl may be into something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
She went
So
to-
what'd you do with the collage? Then you put it in your shrine?
No, it's just sitting at my house right now.
Dylan,
On the pillow right next to you.
Dylan, are you prepared for your lovely date to possibly make fun of you as much as Jubal is?
I'm hoping that she won't make fun of me. I don't think there's a whole lot to be made fun of, but okay.
You don't.
Well, I'm just
You didn't get a.
preparing.
You didn't get a vibe from her like she was upset at the end of the day at all.
No, not at all. I thought she had a great time.
Okay. And she doesn't know anything about the collage, you guys. Come on.
Dylan, is this the first time you made a collage for a girl?
Yeah, I saw online that some girls that like it, they think it's sweet.
Oh, he's been reading Pinterest.
Yeah, don't do that.
Come
All
on,
right.
it is kind of cute. Kind of.
All right, we're gonna play a song, come back, and get your second date update. All right, just hang on for about 3.5 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
Give you some time to tweak that collage a little better.
Come on.
Hold on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
I feel like I need to apologize to our second dater, Dylan, who is
Yay.
still on the phone. Not because I made fun of him for the collage that he made of the girl, but Dylan, I apologize for making fun of your date. I think it's actually a really good idea to do what you did.
Oh, thanks.
You're
yeah,
welcome.
but Dylan, he's not complimenting your creativity. He's complimenting your free food.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm complimenting. I thought about it over the song, and if you're just tuning in for the second date update, Dylan took a girl out on a date. He met her online. He ended up taking her to a bunch of rich homes who were having open houses so they could take advantage of the free snacks. And then they took a bunch of pictures there and acted like they were together. That sounds kind of fun and cheap. I still am creeped out by the collage you made for her, Dylan, but I think the date idea was a good idea.
Yeah, I was thinking, guys, like over during the song,
I mean, you guys seem to really not like that collage idea.
Yeah.
So if you could not mention that, 'cause that would be great. Because if she doesn't know about that, I think that would help my chances.
Well, I can't promise you anything, Dylan.
Jubal.
Like I said, we don't even know if she's going to answer the phone.
Can-
But if we get her on, I promise you'll have a chance to ask her for a second date, and we'll try to state your case the best possible, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to call her right now
Positive thoughts.
and see if we can get her on the phone.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, is Natalie there?
This is Natalie.
Hey, Natalie, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning. I'm moving 92.5.
This is the radio station?
Yep. How are you?
I'm good. Why are you guys calling me?
No, I just wanted to chat with you for a little while. I like you a lot.
Jubal.
No, I'm calling.
Seriously, what's going on?
I'm calling you because we got an email about you.
Okay.
You remember Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of Dylan, first of all?
I liked him. He's very sweet. If I had to pick one word, I would say sweet.
What did you think about the date that you went on?
You know, I have to say it's probably one of the most unique dates that I've ever been on.
Did you like the home tours you guys did? I know you went wine tasting and then...
Oh, my gosh. So he told you all about the date?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was cute. It was a little different, and I thought he put in a lot of effort.
Right.
I don't know if you guys do any online dating, but a lot of these, it's just kind of like you go for a drink, you might have a bite to eat, and then it's like, okay, are we going to hook up or are we not going to hook up?
Right.
Type of thing. And I didn't get that vibe from him, which I thought was actually, like, he was very chivalrous, you know? I thought that was nice that he did all that extra stuff.
Well, Natalie, if you liked him, why aren't you calling him back?
You know, I'm actually on the fence about it. It's only been 3 days, so I've actually, you know, been talking to my girlfriends and...
Oh, it's only been 3 days?
It's only been 3 days,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess we never asked him that.
Yeah, I think he called, like he texted maybe once or twice, and then I think he called once or twice.
Is it too much or no?
A little bit, but not bad.
But you said you're on the fence. What is stopping you from returning his call?
There's something about him that may be like a little bit meek. You know, I tend to kind of go for a little bit more of a bad boy, and he's a little reserved and...
Natalie, what if I get you to talk to Dylan right now?
Well, what do you mean?
Dylan, say what's up to Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi. Oh, this is so embarrassing.
That was a little rough to hear, but besides all that, like, I thought we had something a little special, and I would really like to go out again with you. So we could not plan something. We could kind of go off the cuff, if that is more your style.
You're like this right now, like you're being too sweet.
Natalie, you know how sweet he is?
How sweet?
After you guys went to look at all those open houses and took those pictures, Dylan went home and made a collage out of the pictures. He put them all together and with Elmer's glue and lots of love, I'm sure.
What?
Dude, why did you say that?
Time out. Did you just say the word collage?
Yeah, he made a collage of all the pictures that you guys took at the open house.
Are you serious?
Yep.
So you went and you got the pictures developed, you brought them home, and then you cut them up and put them on a piece of paper with glue?
Yeah. It was an afternoon project, but see now how wrong that was.
Okay, I don't know if I can handle that. That's a little over the top, Dylan.
It was an afternoon project, though, Natalie.
Come on, leave it alone.
You know, some people garden, some people make collages of people they like. You know what I mean?
See, I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, if you're, like, my soulmate or if you're, like, some creepy guy right now. That's just, I don't know. Okay.
Well, I see now that it was wrong. You're right. That's a step or two, maybe three over, what is considered normal. So, not a thing. I am going to burn it. I'm going to throw it away. So I'm going to keep a couple pictures though, because some of them are actually pretty nice.
That's weird. Yeah, that is.
And I believe this was a good learning experience, and I will not do that again.
Well, Natalie, we'll pay for you guys to go on a second date if you'll go out with Dylan again.
Dylan, you're too sweet for me to refuse you. You're very, very sweet. You just gotta beef it up a bit.
Okay.
Something to work for.
There it is.
I can do that.
Dylan, can we at least hear an attempt at you being like a spontaneous or a little bit of a bad boy right now?
Spontaneous? Can I get a minute to think about it?
No.
How about in your sexiest voice, Dylan, you tell Natalie how hot you think she is.
I mean, it's a little. Honestly, it's a little overwhelming. She's very, very pretty.
Wow.
Wow.
Sounded like Barack Obama sexy talking right there.
Okay, all right. Save the sexy voice for the second date, okay?
Okay, sorry. They put me on the spot there a little bit, and that's not.
Oh my God.
I gotta work towards it.
Dylan, you got it, man. I'm not worried about you one bit. I know it's in there. I know there's a tiger deep inside you ready to escape.
I hope so.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.